intensive and extensive properties. They're a subset of physical properties. So a physical property can be intensive or extensive. And I have some statements here in green that are generalizations. I wouldn't say strict definitions. Really, they're to help me remember the difference. An intensive property is independent of the amount or mass that you have. And an extensive property, its number will expand. If you expand or contract the amount, will that number change? Let's look at some examples and kind of ask these questions here. Okay. Volume is definitely a physical property, like just how much you have, how much is in the measuring cup. Okay. Now, volume is definitely dependent on how much you have. If the glass of water takes up more or less volume, you know that there is more or less water there. And volume will expand or contract if you add or remove stuff. So volume is an extensive property. I'm going to put down EXT there. All right. Boiling point. So boiling point is a physical property. It is the temperature, usually at 1 atmosphere, that a liquid goes from liquid phase to gas phase. So intensive property. Is the boiling point independent of the amount? Does the boiling point change if you have more or less of it? Consider a teacup versus a swimming pool. Does the boiling point of water change? No. So if you add or remove the amount of matter, the boiling point doesn't change. So it's not extensive. It's an intensive property because the boiling point remains the same no matter how much of it you have. Humidity. Humidity is a percent water vapor in the air, and you can measure the humidity of a space, whether it's the room you are in, like you can have a dehumidifier or a humidifier in your bedroom, or it could be the humidity of outside in the universe, in your state, in your city. So whether you have a lot of it or a little bit, or whether you're measuring the room or your local outdoor area, the humidity may not change, will not change. So it is independent of the amount you have. You could be measuring a small room or a large area, and the humidity could still not change. So it is an intensive property. Heat. So this is a pretty vague term here. I want to also clarify what this means, what they're talking about by heat here. Now, what I mean by heat is not heat transferred. You know, if you put your hand over a boiling cup of water, you will feel heat being transferred to your hand there. But what this is referring to is really the latent heat or the energy of the movement of molecules. So if you have larger bits of matter versus smaller bits of matter, the amount of latent energy or internal energy is definitely dependent on how much matter you have. Something large has more molecules, more potential for latent energy or heat being internalized in that structure there. This is definitely dependent and will change on the amount that you have. So heat or latent energy is an extensive property. Thank you.